Happy New Year. No.
Jim, the end of the year is here.
Yeah.
Our final show of 2023. Welcome back, everybody. Listen, on today's show, we're going to talk about a few things. One of them is going to be Biden and how upset he is with the media. Why? Jim will tell us all that. California is fining stores. And for what reason? I'll let you know. Record number of illegals are crossing over into our southern border, and they're not who you think they are. And then Biden, he's targeting more of your appliances, folks. That's so much more, Jim, on the final episode in 2023 of what?
Two guys.
Yes.
One Coup.
Happy New Year.
Welcome to the Two Guys, One Coup podcast with Dale and Jim, where the truth matters and progressives' feelings don't. We bring you the facts from the perspective of two average, everyday guys who will never apologize for being America first, for adhering to our great Constitution, and for saluting the flag that our brothers and sisters have fought and died for. And now, here's Dale and Jim.
Jim, I got to turn my volume down a little bit. How's that sound? Am I sounding good?
You sound fine.
How
You
was
fine
your
before?
Christmas? Probably a little different
As usual,
this year for you. But
short.
how was it? Short? It's always too
Isn't
short,
it amazing?
right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Isn't it amazing? It's like, oh
Yeah.
wow, it's here. Okay, well and then boom, it's the day after Christmas.
Day after, and then that's it. It's over, right?
Yeah.
All the prepping, all the preparation, all the hanging of the decorations, the shopping, the family gatherings, and then bam, that's it.
Mhm.
Over and back to
Yep.
reality, right? Well, I guess we kind of got this week, right? And then New Year's, but we don't really do much on New Year's anymore. I don't know about you guys, but
Yeah,
it's
we're
amateur
doing
hour out there, huh?
Yeah, we're doing a little bit. We're having
Are
some
you?
family over for
That's
New Year's
kind of what
Eve.
we're
So it'll
doing.
be kind of that's it.
It'll be all right. I got this cool
extravagant.
Ohio cup for Christmas.
Ooh,
Super cool. Says the Buckeye State. It holds like 462 ounces of coffee, so that's perfect for me. So
Yeah, but we also have decided, and I've talked to a lot of people, that the southwestern part of Ohio is the best part of Ohio. But that's beside the point. I don't want to start anything. So,
well, but why though? Is it based on NFL record this year,
no,
or is it?
it has no.
Oh,
it's
it's not.
the city and overall. We're not talking about this NFL season. It's
Why
kind
aren't
of
we?
a wash.
Why aren't we?
Because we haven't won a damn game in the freaking.
Who's we?
Never.
Who's
Seriously.
we? I ain't we. This isn't we.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the people in southwestern
Who's
Ohio.
we? Yeah, it's been a crazy nutso year there, huh? Jim, crazy stuff going on. Welcome back. It's good to see you again. We haven't talked in a while.
Good to see you too.
I think next week again, New Year's is on a Monday. It's a typical recording day for us, or evening. So I think probably just one show next week again. And then
it's up to you. We can probably do a couple if you wanted, but
and then a couple shows, and then you and I are off for a week. Together, the week of the 14th. So there'll be no shows that week, folks.
Yeah, because that's hard. That's hard to do remote like that.
That is hard to do remote, and the timing and all the other stuff. So, we will both be off that week for our professional lives, our second professional lives. Other than this professional life.
Yeah, the one that actually brings home the bacon.
Yeah, the one that actually brings home the bacon. Yeah. The one that matters the most. So,
yes.
Jim, I got a couple things I want to talk about. First of all, I want to start with this. When you're talking about 2023 and a year in a review, and I'll ask you your opinion on it. Politically speaking, how do you think this year has gone so far for the country? We've talked about it every damn day.
Really?
Huh?
Really?
Yeah.
It's rainbows and sunshine.
Rainbows and sunshine. I mean, you got to think. I mean, so some of the big news stories, obviously, the ousting of the Speaker of the House. That doesn't happen all the time. So,
no.
good move, by the way. good move, by
So
the
far,
way.
excellent move.
So far,
Mhm,
good
mhm.
move, by the way. We can report that that Trump is on the Colorado ballot, as we suspected would happen,
In Michigan.
and Michigan now. Yeah. And so they're not removing him from Michigan,
Mhm.
and they're not going to remove him from any of them, I don't think, yet.
Can't do it.
Well, yet. He hasn't been convicted of anything.
He will.
So
Sorry.
that's where the
99.
issue is going to come
When
in.
you have 99 indictments, one's going to come. I'm sorry.
One's gonna
There's
come.
just no way to get around it.
One is going to come. And then
And it's probably going to be the one where he misspelled a word.
I posted, I said,
Isn't that one
after
of the
col-
indictments?
Yeah, that's where he misspelled
You
something.
misspelled there.
Yeah. Or he was,
You used it
32
wrong.
cents off on his taxes or something, you know.
Mm.
I posted on Facebook about, if he is kept off the ballot in any state, not just Colorado, but if it happens in any state, all hell will break loose in this country, and it will. And of course, liberals got a comment. What do you mean by all hell's going to break loose? What are you saying? I said, what? So my conversation back to him was like, well, I think everybody's got a different version of what hell breaking loose might look like, but all hell's going to break loose.
Yeah.
People are going to be mad,
Mhm.
And he's like, yeah, but specifically, what are you saying? Like, what would you do? And I'm like, oh, I get what you're saying. You're saying I'm going to charge the Capitol? I
Mhm.
mean, you want me to put that down in writing to you, you idiot? Which I did not. I said, I don't get your question. What do you mean? What would I do? Hell would break loose. What does that mean to you? For me, hell breaking loose is the fact that we've had 3 years of Biden. That's hell for me.
Well,
Hell
and
for
hell
you
breaking-
is going to, huh?
Also, to go to your hell breaking
Yeah.
loose is, and I don't. There might be small amounts of violence. There might be. Okay, but our side, we are not the violent type. We're just
Oh,
not.
wait, Jim.
And you can bring up January 6th all you want
Well,
to.
that's the
but
worst thing
we're
that's
not.
happened in our nation's history.
We
Jim.
are not the violent type.
Oh.
When I say be prepared, and
Yeah.
you say be prepared, folks, if you're a liberal business,
Mhm.
save your money.
Yeah, that's right.
Because that is how we are going to have to stop this shit.
That's right.
That is
got
the
that
only
right.
way. And folks, I do not want to stop buying from Amazon.
I
But if
don't
that's what
either.
it takes,
Then I'll
that's
do
what
it.
it takes to get this shit right, this ship righted the right way,
Yep.
then we may actually have to go to the store and buy stuff.
Yeah, I mean, but
Just
where do
like
you go? What store do you go to? Right. So
well,
who do you?
yeah, maybe we need to start making our own.
Yeah, maybe. But the whole point is that
Yeah.
Um,
But you're right.
I'd say that our side doesn't do violence, but how far do you push someone before that becomes the only option
Well, and
left?
when is it accepted? Because when we do it, it's not accepted.
Well,
When the
you're
other
right.
side does it, it's
Yeah, well, it's not violence; it's peacefully protesting, right? That was.
But I can tell you right now, folks, if he is left off, let's just say one state, Dale, and I want to because you brought this up the last episode, and it made me think because I never even thought about that before. I figured he wasn't going to be on a ballot eventually, and I figured he wasn't. You and I have always talked; he's not going to be able to be on any ballot because he's going to be indicted or he's going to be
convicted
sentenced.
of something, right? They're
Convicted
try
of
to
something. When is enough enough, right? What is going to happen? I don't know. I'm hoping we don't go that route, but there is a faction that could, and
of course.
So we'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens, but man, I'm just
it's worrisome, and you have to think about it because 2024, folks, is going to be 2016 he said this, 2012, 2018. This is so different because of all of the policies that Joe Biden has put in place, or the lack of policies that he has or the policies he's removed, like Title 42, for instance. So allowing all the immigrants, all the illegals to come into our country, just wide open borders. To me, that's the most worrisome thing that's happening in our nation right now. That's it. Nothing is a greater threat than that to me. And so that's why I think 2024 is going to be, I fear a really, really, really brutal year for a lot of us out there. both financially and safety reasons. And, I just think it's going to be, I think it's a make or break year. I honestly do. I've never felt as make or break. Not even 2016 when Hildebeest was running, did I think, okay, if she won, that would just destroy 100% our country. Right. I wouldn't have liked it. It would have been terrible for the country, but it wouldn't have been this. I don't believe.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, it could have been, right? I mean, because Obama still would have been running things like he is now.
Right.
So it could have been. It could have been that, obviously. I just think if for some reason Trump isn't the guy, or they don't allow him to be the president, I think that's when shit hits the fan here. And that's that. So Title 42 to me is one of the biggest failures of the Biden presidency in 2023. Of course, inflation. Of course, we have all of the Hunter Biden laptop scandal, the checks being sent from China and Ukraine to Joe Biden. The list goes on and on of the failures in just this year, so it just kind of worries me, that nothing's going to happen for one, and two, it's only going to get just worse from here, right? So some of the things that I think,
Go ahead.
What?
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say some of the things I think that really were good. One was ousting of McCarthy as Speaker of the House. I do. Honest to God, I don't think we would have gotten any of the January 6th footage released, which has not made any national news at all. It still hasn't.
It won't.
But if Speaker Johnson wasn't implemented there, at least he released it all. That was a big get, right? Another scandal maybe might be the Hunter Biden cocaine in the White House.
Nah, you can't prove it was his.
Can't prove it was him. You've got Hunter Biden's tax charges. You've got, and then of course we'll go into the Republicans. George Santos. I mean, this guy is an absolute what a con artist, liar. The fact that they removed him without him being found guilty or going through a jury is unconstitutional. It is 100% unconstitutional. Yeah. They shouldn't have done that. Should he be there as a representative for New York and for the country? No, he shouldn't be. He's just absolutely a con artist. So him being gone is that's the right thing, but they should have done it in the right way.
Well, and with what he did, it should have been the people of New York.
It should have been the people. They took it away from the people's voice. Right. And exactly what they're trying to do with all the Trump indictments.
Thank you.
Yeah. Is exactly what they're trying to do. Is they're taking it away from the people and who votes. They're taking it away from voters. That's it. It's plain and simple. It's absolutely insanity to me that these things can go forward, and yet is there no constitutional attorneys left that would take these cases? And what is happening to the justice system, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Do you think the threats against them just
the Supreme Court
make it worth it? I mean,
I don't think they're
the Supreme Court. You still need attorneys that go and talk to the Supreme Court and fight for whatever. And I just think the pushback that some of these individuals receive. I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene just totally off topic,
got swatted.
And she was death threats sent to her.
Death threats. They're going to skin her.
Yeah. And now look, a lot of people get death threats all the time. All politicians do. We had to hear about the wonderful doctor, the new Dr. Kevorkian, if you want to call him that, Fauci.
Yeah, Fauci.
But he had received death threats. He complained about. Well, so he supposedly received them. But so death threats are not death threats. But folks, the other side is more violent than we are, and they're heating up.
Yeah. Mhm.
and Dale's going to talk about something which is why this evil, this push
Mhm.
to force stuff down our throat.
Yeah.
There's more threat from the other side than there is from us.
Correct. Yeah.
And until, like I said, until we stand up and stop buying from these
Mhm.
places, I
Yeah.
don't know what's going to happen.
So
But go ahead
is
with
that
yours.
threat? Did they make an arrest on that threat to Marjorie Taylor Greene?
And not that I have seen, no.
So
The FBI.
they know who it came from. They must know who it came from.
The FBI is looking into it.
Yeah. So there you have it. So it's going to be a great year, folks. I think coming up. It's going to be one to watch. You feel that cheating in the election is not going to be as possible, but right? Or at least the way they did it.
Because the cheating during the election, no, because they've done everything they could beforehand.
Mhm.
He's not. If he's on the ballot, I will be shocked.
I will too.
If he's on the ballot.
Mm-hmm.
But you know me, okay?
So who do you
I
think?
We've lost the country.
Yeah.
I think the country's gone. However,
who do you think's the Republican nominee?
Nikki Haley. I do. And polls are showing that.
I know.
But you know what really bothers me is every poll that you see,
mm-hmm.
every time you hear about DeSantis, it's what everybody else is saying about him,
mm-hmm.
and it's how he stands up there, and this that.
Yeah, I know.
Guys, look at what he did.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what he has done.
It doesn't even matter
Florida
anymore.
Yeah, see, that's what bothered me. Donald Trump, President Trump, look at what he did. But it was because it was so against the deep state
mm-hmm.
that all they have to do is say he's racist, and then everybody believes he's racist
mm-hmm.
with no proof.
Yep.
The only proof I've ever heard is that comment he made about there's rapists and murderers and child molesters coming over the border. So then all of a sudden it was turned around saying he said all of them were. Yes. No, he did not.
No,
he said there are a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
But that they don't care. And that's my problem with the media.
Mm-hmm.
And Dale, I agree with you on this. 2024, I think it's a hair's breadth. Okay,
mm-hmm.
We have that little shot, but I don't think I think it's gone. Our schools are gone. It is completely. They are lost. Public
mm-hmm.
school systems are lost. Our kids are. The kids aren't being taught anything. They're not prepared for anything in life.
Mm-hmm.
And especially in some areas where you go to college and find, well, I did bad on this test. Where's my other test?
Mm-hmm.
You don't get to take two tests in college. Well, then I'm dropping out.
That's right.
And
I'll live
now
off the government because the government will pay me.
Yep. Now we have people that won't work because they stay at home with their parents longer.
Correct.
And that's fine. I know people have done it, and there's nothing wrong with that. Our
mm-hmm.
child did, but he did it because he was saving money for a specific reason. And I think the country's gone, and it started with public schools. And folks, I'm telling you right now,
mm-hmm.
our eyes have been woken up.
Sure.
Okay. With what we've seen, who we've talked to,
mm-hmm.
when it actually started coming in.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm using the public school system as a perfect example of people just sitting there and not realizing this has been going on for years.
Yes.
And now they have gotten themselves fully infiltrated into this situation that there is no hope of getting out.
Yep.
There is no hope.
Agreed.
There is no saving public schools. And I hate to say it because I know, you're so negative. No, there is no hope.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the level of children coming out of high school right now. Just look.
Yep.
So anyway, sorry.
Entitled and uneducated. A lot of them 8th grade or below testing scores. It's graduating with those.
Yeah,
the dumbing down of America.
You can't tell me in high school those. I mean, because our friend Paige.
Yeah.
She had some statistics for my state of Indiana, in my area, and
mm-hmm.
When you've got a passing rate of 8th graders, because that was the last time a standardized test was given, and you're looking at a 50% pass rate
mm-hmm.
on some of those levels, and graduation rates at these schools are 92%.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that these high school teachers are that good?
Yeah. Yeah.
That they caught them all up? And
Yeah.
no,
No, it's not what happened.
no.
That's not what happened. So you think Nikki Haley, Republican,
Yes.
who's going to be the Democrat?
Yes.
Who's going to be
That-
Democrat? Gavin
Well,
Newsom?
I've always said Gavin Newsom.
Yeah.
And then second, which I think is a lower percentage than some people give.
Yeah.
But Michael Obama will be the second.
I agree. Because they can run it from behind the scenes without them even actually getting the scrutiny.
Well, that's the point.
Yeah.
Why have her right out there? Why have her right out there in front when they can do it like they're doing with Biden? Right.
Yep. Exactly. Wow, Jim. What do you got here? You got anything short at the beginning before we
real
get
quick,
into our stories?
Another example of the media and the way people perceive things is now President Trump, when he speaks about they're trying to steal your election, there's two ways to look at this, right? Some people can say, well, he's saying these things because he's preparing for a fight. And when I mean fight, he's preparing for another January 6th.
Yeah.
Or he's just saying, hey, folks, watch out because they did it before. They're going to try it again.
And do it again.
Okay. Well, and this goes to say that, and I'm only going to talk about this because I think part of this was funny. But on the CNN national security analyst, okay, just if that tells you anything, Juliette Kayyem said Tuesday on News Central that former President Donald Trump is using the threat of violence to rally the support of his people. Now, here's where I got to tell you. Here's what she says. It's about to be 2024. We are running into an election period in which violence and the threat of violence are sort of viewed as an extension of our normal democratic differences. This is one of the successes of what Donald Trump has been able to do is to sort of be kind of casual about violence. That's all I'm going to say on this because she went on to say some other things that it's the left spewing, but I wanted to point that out. And this is an extension of what he's been doing with violence. Again, January 6th of 2021 is all they could talk about.
Yep.
That's the only form of violence that has ever happened. And Donald Trump had nothing to do with that. Okay?
No, the FBI did.
Exactly.
The deep state did.
So you look at what she said, and this is why we are dealing with people in this country. They believe this because all they got to do is hear it, and they're saying, "Well, if it's come from CNN, so it's got to be true." Yeah. No, the violence that has been going on in this country is not related to President Trump. Is not related to conservatives. It's related to the left movement because when you tell the left no, they burn shit down.
That's what they do.
And
what they do.
It's just,
in every city.
So I just wanted to bring that up because it's just another case in point where this is just the dumbest.
And who reported? Who was that from again?
That was CNN.
Oh.
Yeah. And we talked about this briefly. And good job to Michigan Supreme Court. Yeah. Because you and I mentioned that he's back on the ballot in Michigan. So we're good there, which you and I both said he was never going to be. So, but got to give credit where credit is due.
Yep.
So hopefully that's the only good news they get.
Yeah, really. Yeah, really.
Because hopefully Monday they're crying.
Yeah.
Now I do want to do a quick poll, the Rasmussen poll. I don't know if you've seen the latest one.
I don't think so.
Okay, so former Governor Ron DeSantis' campaign, and I'm telling you, only from the site that I'm hearing people tell me that it's the way he presents himself.
Yes.
Really?
And the way he looks up there and he's very stiff and he's like almost
okay, but that's why you're not going to vote for the guy. Man, anyway,
it means a lot.
I get furious when I see it because George W. Bush looked like a goofball up there. He won. Anyway,
some say he didn't.
Now he continues to slide. Now he is tied for third with
DeSantis.
Yes.
Okay.
The poll released Tuesday showed former President Donald Trump with a commanding lead of 51% of those who were asked which candidate they would vote for the GOP presidential primary. Now, this is the Rasmussen poll.
Okay.
So this is one of those that is usually fairly accurate because they actually do take half and half of each side, right?
Yeah, correct.
But this one would only be from GOP voters because that's what this was about.
Yeah.
Former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, the UN ambassador in the Donald Trump administration, was next with 13%. followed by DeSantis and Chris Christie at 9%, and Vivek is at 1%.
Come on.
Yeah, I
What
know.
is going on there?
Yeah,
What
just
is going on
16%
there with
undecided.
Vivek?
Because I
What-
think he's been
The deep state.
I think they've done a
The
good
deep state.
job. Yep, I think they have done a good job of criminalizing him. And I'm in not the literal sense, but in the non-literal sense, they're criminal. You're immature. You don't know what you're doing. You don't, and that's the
He's
only
the smartest
thing.
guy in that room.
Plus, some of the debates, his reactions to threats,
Some of them,
how he did
but
it,
a lot of great. I've actually a lot of great moments for him. More so to me than DeSantis or Haley, and especially Chris Christie.
Well, remember he was the first one to defund. The Department of Education.
Correct.
Yeah. Of all the candidates that said that, he's the only one that's going to do it.
We saw we saw Donald Trump in person. This is you and me. Donald Trump, Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis, and Vivek Ramaswamy. I'll just go those four because Asa Hutchinson that didn't matter. Yeah. We saw those four speak in person 15 feet away from us, right? Out of those four, and I'm including Trump in there, who was the best that we saw speaking that weekend?
Vivek stole the show.
Stole the show. Stole the show. That guy is smart. He knows what he's talking about. He's like, I'm going to defund the Department of Education. I'm going to, is it possible for those things to happen? It is. Now it's going to take both the House and the Senate to be Republican. And it's also going to take a lot of non-established people in both the House and the Senate to be elected because, you can't have the deep state still in the House and the Senate and expect to get anything done, Republican or Democrat, doesn't matter. But is it possible? It sure is. But I just don't understand why. Is the MAGA crowd jumping on Vivek? Are they supporting him as well? Do you know? I'm MAGA
not.
crowd. I'm MAGA guy, right? So
obviously not.
I mean, so what why can't you say Trump's my guy, Vivek's my second choice?
Unfortunately,
we'll see what happens in Iowa, but I'm pretty sure Haley will probably end up coming in second in Iowa.
I think DeSantis will get second.
I'm not sure. The governor endorsed her.
Yeah, but right now he's polling very well in Iowa. He's polling second, which doesn't mean anything. I get it. Polls. I mean, Vivek could turn around and win for all.
Vivek pulled all his TV ads in Iowa, so I think he's probably. Unfortunately, I think Vivek's probably going to have to end up dropping out, which is a shame.
After especially if there's one big one that he has his sights on. How many times you see it? The one candidate. This is their one. This is the one they're throwing all their money at, and because you'll see it, you'll see the one.
Yep.
And maybe he's ready to step down. Maybe he's ready to step out because their internal pollings are a lot better, more accurate than anything else, right? We've always hear that all the time.
Correct.
So something's telling him that.
Which is going to be a shame because I'll sure miss him on the campaign trail.
But I hope he keeps out there and hopes he keeps talking. And
at that point,
what I need to do right now is I need to have Donald Trump, and I wish, and he won't do it. I know it.
Yeah.
But I need him to come out and say, "Look, I want to be your nomination. I want to be your nominee for 2024 Republican.
And he is.
But if I'm not, for whatever reason, if they take it away from me because I'm convicted, then please put your all mega followers. Please follow. Boom.
Yeah.
He needs to support one of these other candidates because
he does. It'll be too late by that point. And that's what they're hoping for is that it'll be too late. And then, or it'll be Nikki Haley, which is, she's deep state. It won't be as bad as Democrats will probably
now.
Okay with that. Huh?
We won't be seeing what we're seeing now. There will be some, I don't think we'll have, I think climate change, that'll be a big part of her. That'll be a big part of her agenda. And, but I do think she would help secure the border. I do believe that.
Oh, I do believe that. Listen, I'm not saying she's worse than Joe Biden. I'm not saying or any Democrat that's going to run. Of course, I would take Nikki Haley over anybody on the left. anybody at this point. So I'm not saying that. I'm just saying what is best for this country is Donald Trump, followed by Vivek Ramaswamy, followed by Ron DeSantis. I mean, you can even, I'm okay even putting Vivek and Ron DeSantis in that same group. You know,
but what drives me nuts, Dale, is when you see his approval rating, Biden.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're talking low 30s, which you and I believe is
even
if
lower.
anybody, if 30% of this country thinks we're in trouble, right? If they think he's doing a great job, we're in deep shit. Okay. So, but then when you see a poll head to head with Donald Trump, Donald Trump in a lot of polls is only up 48 to 46%.
I know.
Wait a
Doesn't
minute.
Make
His
sense.
approval rating's 36%. How is he 12 points higher?
How's he 12
Are you trying
points
to tell
higher?
me that we are okay? We are okay with what we're seeing here because he seems nicer than what Donald Trump is. Seriously? It just blows my mind. None of this makes sense to me.
Yeah, 2024, folks. I mean, you and I are going to have a blast doing the podcast in 2024. That's for sure. Because
and then after 2024, we'll be off the air.
Yeah, probably.
Or you'll see us wearing Gavin Newsom hats.
Yeah. That's the problem with these other candidates. They got
because there's going to be a person standing right next to us with a gun pointed at our heads off the radio, off the air. Okay,
off air.
You know, we love Gavin Newsom. Everything he does is wonderful.
Holding up today's date on the newspaper, you know. So just like the terrorists do to the hostages. That's what we'll be like for sure.
I know we'd laugh and joke, but we're there now.
Oh yeah, I know.
I mean, in all honesty, people are shutting their mouth. They're not. I mean, we've heard it, right? The churches.
Yep.
The churches are not doing what they need to do because they keep getting their 501c3 threatened.
That's right. Federally funded.
Yep.
You know, you want your money, you're gonna either one, support our causes, or two, keep your mouth shut about it.
Yep.
In general, and that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing.
Friends of
Jim,
ours, Mark and Amber.
Well, you're right. You're absolutely right. So before we get into your first, we talk about Biden and how upset he is with the media. Shout out to my daughter for the new grunt style hoodie. Amazing, by the way. So soft, Jim. I can't believe you haven't even.
I need to. Every time I see that on, I think I got to get off and get me some.
They're
well,
awesome.
See, I do not like hoodies.
You don't like hoodies? Why?
I do not like them. I don't like the hood being in the back.
Probably the big goiter in the back of your neck or something. Probably interferes with it.
No, I've never liked. But if they have other shirts, I'll get it.
They have T-shirts. They have all sorts of stuff.
You know,
they
I'm
have
a polo
regular
shirt
crew neck
T-shirt guy.
Sweatshirts.
I'm a polo and T-shirt guy.
Well, they got those.
Then I need to get on there and get some.
Gruntstyle.com.
I need to get me some of that.
Yeah, you got to get you some of that, boy. All right. And
it is very nice.
Ohio.
And I love the cup. That is great. That is nice.
It's great. It's massive. It's beautiful.
It should be the Bengal state.
Huh?
Should be the Bengal state, not the
It's not,
state,
though.
but that's
the thing.
Or the red state. Well,
Bengal state's Kentucky.
We better not name it the red state.
I hope it's a red state.
No, I meant,
Yeah.
You look at it differently when you hear the red state.
Yeah, you think of communism. Yes, that's right.
All right,
Jim,
so maybe not reds. All right,
not reds, not even Bengals. The Buckeye.
It has a ring to it, though. The Bengals.
What does?
The Bengals.
The Bengal state? It's got no ring to it. It's absolutely got no ring to it. As does not the Browns state. Have a ring to it. Jim.
Well, that's okay. Maybe you're right. Okay.
Why is Joe Biden upset with the media? I mean, I can't imagine it. They're on his side.
Now, so you and I are going to have fun with this.
Oh, good.
Okay.
I want to.
And our listeners and watchers are going to have fun with this too. So we will pause a little bit to let everybody laugh. After
let them catch up. Let it sink in.
President Joe Biden apparently believes that he would be polling better with the American people if media outlets were reporting on the economy the right way. You heard that right, folks. Okay.
It's the right way. Yeah.
The president spoke briefly with reporters on Saturday, which he always does.
Yes.
Just before he departed the White House to spend Christmas at Camp David, and he made it clear that he blamed the media for its floundering poll numbers, particularly with regard to his economic policies. Now, you and I feel that if the media was being correct and honest about the economy, his polling numbers would be a lot worse.
He would have never been president.
Right. Okay, but when one reporter asked Biden how his outlook on the economy going into 2024 in his reelection campaign, Biden replied, "All good. Take a look. Start reporting it the right way. No evidence.
Okay.
No examples.
No examples. Just
nothing.
like, it's all good.
Nothing.
Just report
I mean,
that
when he
it's
talks
good.
about all the jobs he creates,
Yeah.
what
From the
you don't
COVID.
hear are the
Yeah.
jobs that are being eliminated because of all the the move towards electric vehicles.
100%.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Biden's comment came in the wake of yet another poll indicating that he is struggling to get above water even with his own party. Talk about
That's
shooting the
insane.
messenger. Fox Business host David Osman posted on X, adding 61% of Democrats join 93% of Republicans and 85% of independents who say the economy is in bad condition. And Biden's blaming the media?
Well,
Okay, first of all, I want to meet these 39% of Democrats that think the economy's okay. And I want to meet the other 15 independents. And I really want to sit down and have a talk with the 7% of the Republicans,
who
the
think this is okay. Yeah, that's
because
right.
this is ridiculous, folks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The economy was not nearly as bad when George W. Bush left. Remember, we had the crash,
Yep.
which caused the
housing
great
market
one,
crash. The great
which
one
took
to
the great
become
one,
the Messiah,
put him
to
as
become
president.
Yep.
The economy is a hell of a lot worse than this.
Mm-hmm.
According to the Fox News poll, Osman mentioned that only 14% of Americans believe that they have been helped by President Biden's economic policies.
14%.
And that 14% are the
Yeah.
ones who just went on welfare.
Or did they poll the illegals?
Yep, they pulled the illegals crossing the border.
Crossing the border.
We love Joe Biden.
See, I'm better, senor. Or some other illegals.
Maybe
as
they
you'll
could
tell us
sing
later.
Feliz Navidad like the governor of Colorado did.
Oh God, did you see that? I wish. These people are just embarrassing. Democrats are embarrassing. In
maybe
general.
you should practice it before you sing it. That's all I'm saying. See, I would not say I'm going to say like the national anthem. I know the words, but I would be afraid to sing it because I might forget.
Yeah, in general, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so in addition to the 68% that say they were not satisfied in the direction the country was going, a 15-point increase from 53% just after Biden took office in 2021. The jump was much higher amongst Democrats, from 20% in 2021 to 40% in this latest poll. So he's losing trust from his Democratic partners, folks.
Yes.
But again, here's what I just don't. As the 2024 presidential campaign wraps up, the economy ranks as the highest among voters, followed by illegal immigration.
Okay.
Now,
that's fine.
I want to send this message out to pro-choice.
Oh, yes.
To the LGBTQ crowd.
Mm-hmm.
I understand you feel strongly about your grievances. Okay. Like, you have that right. You live in the United States of America. All the power to you.
Sure.
Economy in the illegal immigration has to get fixed first
before anything else matters.
First of all, abortion doesn't need to be fixed. Everything is going the way that everybody thought it would eventually.
Yeah.
Right? When all the panic was, oh my God, Alabama's going to outlaw it all over. You're not going to be allowed to do this. You're not going to be allowed.
Yep.
Guess what? 12 to 14 weeks.
Yeah. Guess what?
Okay.
Yep.
So, and you have California and Minnesota that are killing babies up to the age of 16. So, okay, maybe not quite, but getting there.
I mean, maybe that policy isn't all that wrong, but go on.
Well, okay.
Before they could vote, maybe we need.
So, but these are the two issues right now, folks. I get it. I get it. I am pro-life. We know that, and I don't like what California's doing, but it's out of my control what California is doing. I can protest all I want to.
Yeah, it's
but
California.
It's the people of California,
right?
It's their choice to do what they want to do.
That's right.
Okay?
And they need. Yep, that's right.
LGBTQ
leadership.
Community. We are not transphobic. We are not homophobic. We are not biphobic. We want you to leave children alone.
Period.
That's it.
That's it. Again,
leave children alone from the transgender movement that is out there and mutilating their bodies. Yeah. That's what we ask for. Be gay, do what you want to do, whatever. Okay.
Yeah. That's
But
unrealistic, Jim. That's
these two
you are
issues,
homophobic. Mhm.
the economy and immigration, if you can sit there and say abortion's legal again, yay, rah, but our economy is done, our unemployment rate is sky high, we have more people living on welfare than ever, and you're happy with that,
Mhm.
get the hell out.
Get the hell out.
I think North Korea is probably the best place for you to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Agreed.
So
Mhm.
please, I get it. We all have those, right? We all
Yeah.
have those stances that we want
Correct.
to take. We all have them. But
Mhm.
reality we have to have money as a country before we can do anything about these other things.
That's right.
And the illegal immigration, I get it. That we need to round them up. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
We need to round up who is here and get
We
them
do.
out.
Get them out. Deport them.
Okay.
Get rid of them.
And we have to do that. Those are the
Mhm.
two main topics. That is it.
Period.
That is it.
But again, so when Biden sits there and bitches to the media about not reporting on the economy properly, the truth of the matter is the media, what they report on it doesn't even CNN listeners, NBC, ABC, CBS, MSNBC, those people aren't even hearing about the economy or caring about it. It's when they bring up the abortion stories, and that's the narrative. That's what they're doing. That's what just happened in Virginia.
Mhm.
It's what happened in, and it's what's going to take place in the 2024 election. It's going to be abortion, 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 because they can't run on the truth about anything.
Right.
So all people want to hear is like, oh, women's rights, women's rights. They take women's rights. They're gone. That's their message. That's all they're going to do. You're going to hear it being hammered even more coming up in 2024 than you did just this past year. So it's going to be insane.
And
It's
just
going to
like
be
the
absolutely
transphobic
insanity.
crowd.
Huh?
The transphobic crowd, they completely
Oh, yeah.
they completely forget that we have a problem with what you're doing to the young children. That's it. But they don't
Yeah.
say that. They say, "Oh, you're scared. You're just scared of homosexuals." No,
Correct.
no, I'm not.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
No, I'm
Mhm.
not.
Yes.
I'm against you mutilating this 16-year-old girl,
Mhm.
or I'm against you deciding that a 2-year-old,
Yeah,
should be the other sex. Okay,
Oh.
I'm sorry. I'm from the school that you need to be locked up. That's what
Yeah, I'm
it's
on
all
that
about,
side.
and that's where
I'm
we're
on that side. of the aisle.
okay. So, but we're not. We are letting. We're just letting a small percentage of people decide what goes on in this country, and our
Mhm.
businesses and major organizations are doing it. They're following it, and it's
They-
upsetting. But anyway, I'm done.
They are.
Pontificating.
They are. Yeah. Oh, I know. Yes. Again, isn't that the word? What was it? Is that pontificate? Is that what we were
Yeah.
told we do too much?
Yeah,
We
I think that's what
pontificate?
that guy said. Yeah,
I think that's what he
we
says.
pontificate too much.
As we do. We're okay with that. He
Yep.
can go pontificate himself.
But we're awesome pontificators.
We are. I mean, that's what we do is we pontificate properly. Jim, future President Gavin Newsom is up to his no good stuff again.
Yep.
California stores with more than 500 employees will soon be fined for not having gender neutral toy sections once a new state law kicks in January 1st. The bill signed in 2021, I didn't hear about this, signed in 2021 by Democrat Governor and future President Gavin Newsom will force stores that sell children's items or toys to pay a $500 fine should the store fail to create a gender neutral toy section for kids 12 and under. Jim, what's a gender neutral toy?
I thought Barbie was a gender
Mhm.
neutral toy, right? Isn't that what we hear? Boys should be allowed
Well,
to play with
that's what
Barbies
we
if
hear.
they want to.
But truthfully, in your mind, what is a gender neutral toy? It's not
And I'm gonna be completely honest with you.
Yeah.
No idea.
No idea.
Mm-mm.
Because are you saying that girls can't play with a baseball?
That's what I'm thinking you're saying.
Because that's not gender neutral? Then wait a second. And first of all, what genders are they talking about?
Good point. Because the furries are going to be upset that they don't have any cat toys. For
That's what I'm saying. What about the guys that like to dress in diapers and pretend they're babies? What toys would be proper for them? Anyways, a child care item, according to the legislation text, quote, means any product designed or intended by the manufacturer to facilitate sleep, relaxation, or the feeding of children, or to help children with sucking or teething. What did I just read? What are they talking about? I'll do it again. A child care item, according to legislation text, quote, means any product designed or intended by the manufacturer to facilitate sleep, relaxation, or the feeding of children, or to help children with sucking or teething. Jim, did you have sucking toys when you were younger or anything like that when you were a baby? Do you know? I don't know.
I think so.
Did it make you who you are today because you had a specific male binky? or I mean, what are they talking about?
It's how you raised. It has nothing to do with the toys.
It's got nothing to do with this. Traditional boys and girls sections won't be outlawed. Well, thank God. But a gender neutral section must also be created. I'm going to go into the store and I'm going to, first of all, when I go into stores, I see toys. That's what's above. I don't see boys' toys, girls' toys.
Mm-hmm.
I see toys. Mm-hmm. There's nothing on the thing that says this is for boys only or this is for girls. Am I going to the wrong store? I've never seen that.
See, here's where you and I are confused even more. At least I don't want to answer for you, but here's where I'm confused.
You could probably answer for me. I'm probably just as confused.
I thought they were all gender neutral toys.
Mm-hmm.
Because anybody should be able to play with them.
According to.
I don't understand.
The boy wants to play with a doll, right? That's
and if the girl wants to pick up boy toys like G.I. Joe action figures, we call them action figures.
Race cars.
Yeah. Right. A model. A car. Like a model.
RC
model
car.
Cars.
Yeah.
Right.
Then
they should be allowed to. I always assumed that is what we meant by gender neutral. Like, for instance.
That's what I assumed.
Girl toys, boy toys.
Yeah.
We don't have that.
That's what I assumed.
Yeah. That's why I see just toys. I thought gender neutral was.
That's what I thought too. But Greg Burt, vice president of the California Family Research Council, a conservative public policy nonprofit group, told Fox News Digital in an interview Tuesday the law, quote, violates the First Amendment. What's the First Amendment again? Freedom of.
Unless you're conservative.
Quote, this is a government-compelled speech, Burt said. The government is deciding to tell a religious person, could be a Muslim-owned business, that they have to use certain words to advertise toys, and those words might violate the belief system of the particular Muslim-owned business. I love that they put that in there, because typically, we're the don't trust Muslims, and am I wrong? I mean, I don't think it's little old, Do
you think in a Muslim store you're going to have gay Barbie?
No. If it's beheaded.
Yeah.
That's the only
No, you will not.
You will not have gay Barbies. You will not have gay Kens. You will not have. Anyways, you got the government now dictating the signage in stores. So that's what I was saying. About what words can be used to advertise products, he continued. This is opening a Pandora's box. I agree. Many stores have already been complying with the law. A Los Angeles-based toy store owner told Fox News Digital on Tuesday. According to the legislation, keeping similar items that are traditionally marketed either for girls or for boys separated makes it more difficult for the consumer to compare the products and incorrectly implies that their use by one gender is inappropriate. I mean, it's what we just talked about. The legislation says that stores must include, quote, a reasonable selection of the items and toys for children that it sells that it sells shall be displayed regardless of whether they have been traditionally marketed for either girls or for boys. I do not see toys that say for boys only or for girls only.
Not anymore.
They are creating new shit in order to push their agenda and or collect another form of income for them in fines. Failure to comply after January 1st, 2024 may result in civil penalties enforced through legal action by the state attorney general, district attorney, or city attorney with penalties ranging from $250 to $500 for subsequent violations. That's not going to be a one-time charge, by the way.
Mm-mm.
That will be a continuous fine until
Mhm.
they comply. It doesn't say that in here, but that's how it's going to work.
Mhm.
Proponents of the law argue it will eliminate gender discrimination and stereotypes about boys and girls.
Yeah, we are being discriminated against
Yeah.
because it's boy or girl.
You want to hear what California Democratic lawmaker Evan Lowe, the author of the legislation, had to say? He said after its passing, quote, "We need to stop stigmatizing what's acceptable for certain genders and just let kids be kids." What?
Yeah.
I thought we were. Again,
Now, the kids today,
this
remember
guy
when we
who authored the legislation is telling us that we have to stop stigmatizing and just let kids be kids. The same guy who's telling us we have to have gender neutral and who probably agrees, obviously, with mutilating children,
Yep.
from
Yep.
birth, if need be.
Yep.
Quote, "My hope is this bill encourages more businesses across California and the U.S. to avoid reinforcing harmful and outdated stereotypes." What is he talking about? Is Slinky a Slinky fun for a girl and a boy? Oh,
Right.
what a wonderful toy. Anybody remember that? Am I
Exactly.
that old? I am.
Yep.
But Mr.
Rubik's
Potato
Cube.
Head, huh?
Rubik's Cube.
Rubik's, I mean, trucks, cars, dolls. Yes. Is there a natural instinct for women who are nurturers to maybe want so little girls then wanting a doll that they can feed, that's just a natural
Mhm.
DNA process of a girl,
And
right?
if a boy wanted
And if
to
a
buy
boy's
that,
so
fine.
what? That's what they do.
Fine.
It's not.
That's what you and I consider gender neutral.
There's no toy. I haven't. I'm going to look, guys, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm like, I am not going to go out there. I don't think I can go now and see, for boys, between the ages of 2 and 6. I don't think I see toys like that.
Mm-mm.
I see for children.
Well, but
No
we don't
children
really,
under 12 or over 12 or whatever. Huh?
How often do we shop in the toy section for anything?
Listen,
For
you're right. How often? That's why I'm saying maybe somebody correct me. Some of our listeners who just recently bought toys for their children for Christmas, or Santa brought them one. Hey, little ones I don't think. Boy, I certainly hope.
Well, what are you talking about? Santa brought them.
I'm just saying.
Just move on.
So, was there? Did it say on there? Boys and or girls? Like, was it specific? That's what I need to know. I guess I haven't looked into that. I could probably go on Amazon right now and look up all these toys and say, "Oh my gosh, it says for boys only."
Mhm.
I don't believe that to be true.
Yeah.
By the way,
they're starting to put tampon machines in boys' locker rooms. So
yeah, and I mean, I guess jock straps now will be for girls.
What do you think a teenage boy is going to do with that?
Everything. Anything they can.
And it's not to stop menstruating.
It's not. It's not. The boys aren't going to do that. Jim, that's what I got on that story. That's about the end of that. I can't. I was just shocked. Why am I shocked by anything that for one, that happens in California?
Well, it's
former
this stuff
future
that keeps,
president.
It shows you they're going after the children. That's all this tells me.
That's all that tells you. It's just part of their agenda.
So if you buy your daughter a Barbie, you are going to be demonized because you got your son a G.I. Joe.
That's right. Or I got him a baseball glove and I got
you're going
daughter
to hear that because that's what's going to happen. Oh, you're a terrible parent. You're raising your daughter as a daughter. That's terrible.
The line to just let kids be kids, it just shocks me.
Of course.
It's a bunch of bullshit from these Democrats. That's not what they're doing at all. So, Jim, moving on. Record number of illegals. I don't.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Sure. A lot of Mexicans coming over, right?
You and I can spend a lot of time talking about this.
We can and probably will again.
We hear a lot about it. We all know the numbers coming over, right? But with November recording 4,000
Mhm.
767 encounters. A
Encounters.
number that outpaced any annual total from 2007 of 2019. China immigrants.
Wow.
Chinese
Coming over the southern
immigrants.
border.
Yes. So basically, with November recording, okay,
Mhm.
with 4,767 encounters, that is more than the numbers between 2007 and 2019
Combined.
combined.
12-year span.
Now, the surge is part of an escalating pattern, with 24,000 encounters noted in fiscal year 2023, significantly higher than the 1,970 in 2022 and 323 in 2021.
We're just talking just Chinese. Those
Yes.
numbers are.
Concern has been raised by this is funny. This is House Homeland Security Committee Chairman Mark Green
Mhm.
regarding the potential links between these migrants and the Chinese Communist Party, as well as China's People's Liberation Army. Green hinted at classified briefings that will delve into evidence suggesting these connections, information that was initially brought to light by a sector chief, the ones who are doing their jobs, folks.
Yep, correct. Yep, that's right.
Gordon Chang, here's my favorite, a Chinese expert, shed light on the motivations behind this migration. Here we go, folks. This is emotional here, so I got to get my emotional hat on. He pointed out that the pervasive pessimism among China's middle class, especially the younger generation, about their country's future.
Oh, no.
This is why he feels they're here. This despair is driving them to seek a better life in the United States. However, Chang also raised the chilling possibility, not a possibility, okay, this is what's happening. Some of these individuals could be agents of the Chinese military or Ministry of State Security with intentions to carry out acts of sabotage against the U.S. Okay, everything I said before that this guy said, ignore. This is where he should have started.
This is exactly where he should have
Are
started
there people
and
trying to
finished.
escape political prosecution? There could be.
Sure.
But how in the hell did they get out of China?
How they get out of
That's
China
what I'd
and
like
get
to know.
down to the southern border, and then
Because that's not where they're going to go. They're going to get on they're probably going to hide themselves on one of those freight barges, right, and come over. They're not going to go into South America, then up, unless
or just
they
get
were dropped
themselves
there
a round trip flight from China to New York, and then never get on the round trip back
and never
home.
come back, right? But now here's the key that you got to think about, folks: the influx of military-age Chinese males.
Yeah.
Possibly with harmful intentions, is seen as a direct result of the current administration's policies. Guys, Christy Hutcherson pointed this out.
Mhm.
This is what we're dealing with, folks. This is there's more than just terrorists coming over.
Yep.
Okay, these are Chinese that are being dropped off somewhere, whether it's in South America or in Central America, wherever they're being dropped off, and they're coming into the United States through the Mexican border.
Correct.
This has got to be scary. I mean,
It's got to be
is
scary.
this scaring anybody?
Is it?
Okay, like when we
It's
hear
gotta
about
be.
all these migrants coming over,
Who's
they're
hearing
all
about it, Jim?
families. They're all families. They're all no, they're not. You see, most of the people in there are young male, single. That's it. So
I mean, who's hearing about it, Jim? Besides our listeners and those that are hearing, conservative talk shows.
Yep.
That's the problem. So we saw all this. I mean, we know this is happening. Christy Hutcherson of Women Fighting for America was the first to tell us about it, and really the first one that really made us pay attention to our northern border, which is super, super porous at this point. Chinese fighting aged men. So are we not? Let me ask you this. So there's a series of military aged men from all sorts of different countries coming into this country.
Yeah. It's just not China, right?
Is that, oh no, there's a lot of Muslim, a lot of Mexican, a lot of Guatemalan, Venezuelan, Nicaraguan. There's all sorts. Are they all in cahoots with each other? Are they all?
Some of them, I think, are.
I mean, are they?
The Muslim with China, I don't think so. They have their own agenda. But yeah, I don't know why China wouldn't side with the cartel. I don't. Well, why wouldn't
Correct.
they? Well, they
Well,
are.
well, they're
actually.
already China's the one
Yeah.
supplying the fentanyl to them to bring
Right.
over the border. So
Yep,
of course,
so-
they're in cahoots in general. But it's the Muslim and Chinese that I'm,
Yep.
remember,
Now,
folks,
if they ever do
20
get in
million
cahoots,
plus that are in this nation. 20
If they-
million.
if they ever do get in cahoots, yeah, we're
Mhm.
kiss your ass goodbye.
Yeah.
There's no, because right now we don't have the fortitude to fight them. We just don't.
No, correct.
Yep.
I mean, 20 million. That is more than 46, 45 states have population wise. I mean,
Yep.
besides California, Texas, Florida, New York, and then illegals. I mean, is that the order? I mean, that's what I'm looking at here. I mean, that's insane to
Yep.
me. I think Florida has 23 million citizens.
Mhm.
Well, okay, 23 million people, right? Last count. I don't know. Citizens wise, I can't verify that.
Careful.
But 23 million. And then next comes the illegals. They would make the 5th largest state in our nation. All right. This is insane, Jim.
Mhm.
Absolutely insane.
Yep.
Jim, one thing, are you done? Is that,
Yep.
did you
that's
get, okay.
Yep.
Real quick. I want to get
Time
into
crunch.
this. We, Biden's and his climate agenda, and he's just pushing this down everybody's throat because it's the existential threat to our nation, the climate crisis. That's what he says, and he continues to say it. Hard to believe he can get the word existential out of his mouth, but it does come out sort of like existential. It's kind of what it sounds like. 2023 was unusually a bad year for appliance regulations, and
Little bit.
future years won't be much better unless Congress finds a way to stop the nonsense. It all started, we remember, in January when Richard Trumka Jr., Commissioner on the Consumer Product Safety Commission, announced an investigation into the safety of natural gas stoves, right? And boasted that a ban on them was a real possibility. That sparked consumer backlash. We know that. It's not just gas stoves, folks. So guess what's coming next? Dishwashers. Your dishwashers, and I didn't know this, may already be the most over-regulated appliance, having been subjected to 4 rounds of successfully tighter limits on the amount of energy and water they can use. I never even thought about it. These DOE regulations are the reason dishwashers now take 2 hours or more to clean a load of dishes. I did notice that. Yeah. 4 hours?
Yep.
The most powerful, so we got a KitchenAid dishwasher. The longest cycle is 2 hours and 50 minutes. I always thought like, what the hell's happened? We used to clean these things in like 45 minutes, and dry them.
Water doesn't
And
get as hot.
2 hours and 50 minutes, and I still got to wipe off glasses and cups,
Yep.
KitchenAid's not some sort of it's not some hokey brand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, cleaning performance has also suffered. Many consumers report having to rinse their dishes by hand before or after running them in the dishwasher, which is not only an inconvenience, but also undercuts the energy and water saving rationale.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, rinse your dishes off and then put them in the dishwasher.
Yep.
Anyways, that is one of them. Air conditioners. Somewhat important to you, Jim, highly important to me. Okay. So depending on where you live, right? But always important. Residential central air conditioners are being hit by regulations from both DOE and the Environmental Protection Agency, and the cumulative impact is large and still growing. A new DOE efficiency standard that took effect in 2023 is boosting the installed cost of a new unit by $1,000 or more.
Mm-hmm.
And climate change measures coming from EPA in 2024 will both raise the cost of refrigerants needed to repair existing systems while further increasing prices for new models. Adding insult to injury, the new climate-friendly air conditioners about to be introduced come with increased flammability risks. So,
what's the manufacturer warranty on these new appliances?
Yeah, I know. Nothing, right?
1 year.
Well, I mean,
you can buy an extended. You can buy an extended, but you have to pay for it. But nothing's past 3 years.
It used to be 10 years minimum.
Unless you go out and get one of these home a home insurance policy where it
Yep.
covers that stuff, right? But
Mhm.
you're paying a ton of money for it. Why is that?
I remember growing up, my parents' house, washer and dryer. I think they had the same one my whole life. You know, I mean,
I have a
I think my
refrigerator
dad
in the
might have had to
garage.
replace a thermostat and a dryer once, you know, basically a cheap part that you just pull off the back and you reattach and it, boom, dryer worked again. Maybe a belt on the drum, you know,
I
every
have a
now and then.
refrigerator in my garage.
Yeah.
20 plus years old.
Yeah.
I have never had anyone in to look at it.
Well, I'm going to call the climate police on you because
I
needs
have
to
a
be
refrigerator
some
in my
arrests.
house.
Yeah.
That is a high efficiency refrigerator because
Yes.
it has those little yellow stickers saying
Oh,
you
sure.
can save.
Yeah.
I had to have the computer panel replaced, and I just had to have the water pump replaced because we had stopped getting water out of our water.
Covered under warranty or not covered under warranty?
First one was.
Yeah.
This one was not.
So there you have it.
And folks, look at the high efficiencies. You look at
Yeah.
it and say, when you see this thing that you will save this much money, you will not, because that appliance will not last that long.
It won't. It doesn't matter.
And
You're
not
not going to
only
say
that,
5 years.
Expense to repair it.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So this is the big. You and I have talked about this. This climate change, this push to make more efficient, higher. The problem with that is they have so much shit in it that it's going to fail.
Every time.
And because why does an appliance last 20 years compared to what it does now? Because it doesn't have as much shit in it.
Is it correct?
All right, but you put all this stuff in there, the high efficiency stuff, it's not going to
bullshit. It's all bullshit.
You look at the furnaces, you look at the central
Well,
air
look at
conditioners.
Here's another one. Washing machines. Okay. Like dishwashers, washing machines have endured tighter and tighter water and energy use limits in 1994, 2004, 2007, 2015, and 2018. They now use so little water that homeowners have had to improvise to get clothes clean. Some have learned to add a bucket or two of water mid-cycle to improve performance, while others risk voiding the warranty by tinkering with their machines to increase the flow. I don't know about yours, but mine comes on and
that's what it does.
Little water. The clothes are damn near almost dry after it's done with the spin cycle. I'm like, is it? Did you clean it?
I'm just going to put the shirt on.
So here you go. Mold accumulation, which was never a problem before Washington regulators got involved with washing machines, is now common and can cause bad odors and staining of clothes. A sensible government agency would be looking at ways to fix these problems, but the Biden administration, DOE, is proposing to exacerbate them by tougher energy and water limits. I mean, pretty soon it's just going to be like, how do you clean these things? And of course, last, and we'll get into this, furnaces. No two homes are exactly alike, which is why it makes sense to allow a wide variety of furnaces on the market. But DOE doesn't see it that way. And it recently finalized efficiency standards for furnaces, effectively outlaws the kind of natural gas furnaces that make the most sense for millions of homeowners. Specifically, the rule eliminates the option of non-condensing gas furnaces in favor of condensing versions. Condensing furnaces are more efficient and thus comply with the rule, but they are more expensive and not easily compatible with the venting systems in many homes that currently have non-condensing furnaces. The biggest victims of such one-size-fits-all standards will be the disproportionately low-income owners, as always, but they don't see it this way, the Dems.
All the time.
It always affects them. Income owners of older and smaller homes for which the replacement of an old non-condensing furnace with a new condensing model will prove very difficult and costly. The only good news is that Congress is starting to fight back. The House of Representatives has passed bills preemptively rescinding any stove regulations and is considering doing the same for other appliances. Won't be an easy fight, folks, but that's what's happening. Jim, I know you are short on time. You have somewhere you need to be, but it's the end of the year, and literally, I want to run down these lists of names to thank for making our year possible. First of all, to all the listeners and all those both watching and listening, we thank you all for a tremendous 2023. Honestly, could not do it without all of you listening and supporting the show.
Mhm.
And really, thanks is not enough for it.
Yes.
We've had tremendous
you.
support,
Right.
and really, really dedicated listeners. And we hope that continues and grows in 2024.
Wish we could name them all, but
Wish we
would
could
forget
name
some.
all them, but I can name all these people, those that came on the show to make it possible.
Yep.
And this is in no order. It's just the way my brain remembered it. And if I forget someone, you may think of it, or I apologize. But Wayne Black, Steve Tarani, Christy Hutcherson, JJ Carroll, Jeff Gohagen, Mark and Amber Archer, Patricia DeGenero, of course, Commander Dan O'Shea, J.L. Hancock, Mason Douglas, Natasha Owens, Catherine Engelbrecht of True the Vote, Chris Boomer Berman, VSPM. Can't thank him enough. Christine Spasato, John Curley, Jennifer Pippin, Gloria and Steve Giarno, Jim Bryce, Tia Bess, Aaron O'Laughlin. Those are people we've had on the show. I might have missed a couple. And if I did, I apologize. I literally was trying to go back and just remember.
Usuals, Page.
And then, of course, the support we still are gathering from Moms for Liberty, and that is, Paige.
Well, we've had her on the show
and Joy,
this year.
and we've had her this year. Did we?
I think so. Early on,
I think so too. If not, I don't know what the hell we were thinking, but maybe I'm sure we did. So yeah, Paige and of course the whole Moms for Liberty group has been very supportive of us.
Awesome.
But again, without the listeners, none of this, and without the help of these guests. And a lot of them who have introduced us to other folks, Wayne Black specifically, John Curley. Those folks have been just really tremendous, and we can't thank them enough. And we can't wait for next year. We hope to have a lot of these people back and then some. Just keep growing and keep growing and keep growing. We can't do it unless you like, follow, and share on Rumble, right, Jim? That's what people need to do. And then share our podcast, our audio podcast, which is on Apple and Spotify and Google and Amazon and Stitcher and all of those, anywhere you can hear podcasts. Please continue with that support there. Jim, I wish you and yours a very safe New Year. Everybody out there, please be safe. It's amateur hour. A lot of people decide, hey, that's the first night I'm going to drink. Why, I don't know. Or they just get belligerently drunk on that night. Me particularly, I like to ring in the new year remembering it. So I'm just not gonna, I'm not gonna get plastered.
A few bourbons that I have.
That's what I'll have. I'll have, but I know my limits. Of course.
Yeah, but mine is just gonna be bourbon.
Yeah. Mine's just going to be bourbon. I'm going to have bourbon. I'm just going to mix it. That's all. It's what I prefer.
I have no problem with that.
That's the best thing about being an American.
Only when you use the
It's the best thing is I can choose what bourbon I want to mix with. That is part of my right.
That shouldn't be a right.
It's actually, I think, in the Bill of Rights.
That
I have my freedom of bourbons.
You are entitled to do that. And I'm entitled to make fun of you.
You are entitled. That's your freedom of speech.
And by the way, if we ever do have Larry and Billy on,
and which we will,
prepared, because
for what?
My brother does not like it when you mix with that. Yeah.
When what? We make fun of him?
Give you a hard time. No,
he doesn't.
We're going to make fun of him all the time. So,
but what doesn't he like? He doesn't like being made fun of.
When you mix Woodford with.
I don't give a shit what he thinks. What makes you think I care? Anyways, folks, again, thank you, Jim. Thank you for an amazing year.
Yep.
Your research, your dedication to it, the stories you brought, everything that you do for the show. I appreciate it enough.
And what I do for the show is only a small percentage of what you do for the show.
Listen,
and again,
it's
I want to send back to you. Thank you for all the editing. Thank you for all the guests that you did book.
And you too.
Getting us on these other sites.
Mm-hmm.
That has helped us. You are the social media expert. I am not. We know that.
We sure could use an true social media expert. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It's a team effort. That's for sure. It's two guys, one coup for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Folks, buckle up next year. Woo! It's going to be nutso. So be safe. Cherish your families. Cherish what you have now. Because the Lord only knows life is short, right? And we know it. So, Jim, until after New Year, I guess. You and everyone else. See you next year, folks.
Yeah, and God bless everyone.
Yes, absolutely. And again, bye, Jim. Happy New
Bye.
Year. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all you just. Okay. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too, sir.
See ya.
You've been listening to the Two Guys, One Coup podcast with Dale and Jim. Remember, you can watch on YouTube and Rumble and listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. And if you like what you hear, go ahead and give us a 5-star review. We really appreciate it, and it helps others find us when searching for podcasts. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and TikTok. Just search for Two Guys, One Coup. That's the number 2, guys, and the number 1, Coup, C-O-U-P. Thanks again for listening to the Two Guys, One Coup podcast, and God bless the United States of America.